Hello, Paul. Welcome to Driven. And we're going to go ahead and show you a couple things on your box. You'd asked before. This is Todd's nose on your box right now. The other nose is being made as we speak. You'd asked about a divider window before, and it appears this is the piece there. So it looks like that connects onto the front glass, and then there's the secondary glass behind it. We'll go take a look at, let me show you your rear bumper, because you had some questions about affixing the rear bumper to the body. Apparently before, it looks like what they probably would have done is maybe riveted it on, or some of them are screwed on in place. I don't think that's probably the most aesthetic way to go about it. But nonetheless, there's different methods. So this is a scoop in the back that the cover will cover like this. So you could probably use some of this as a place to secure the rear cover. Also, there's a different exhaust that we're putting on the car, because as you'll see with the full rear bumper covers, they've got this piece down here. This is Todd's, and this one is yours. They're identical. And the swamp box, as you can see, has nothing down here. It's all removed. So the other exhaust system will be a lower exhaust system and will allow the bumper to fit in better. Oh, you'll meet Elvis when you get over here. This is his name's Will, but we can call him Elvis for today. Anyway, you can see the bumper kind of fits on like this. Right now, it's not going to fit completely because we've got clearance issues right here. But up on the top, it fits here, and most people just simply put a screw through the top to hold it in place. I don't think that's the hot ticket, really. I think there's probably a better way to do it. Maybe a Zeus fastener might look better. As you can see here on the swamp box, they've simply secured with screws up here. And there's something down here on the body which will allow you to go ahead and mount to here if you so desire. Pull it off just slightly so we can see the inside, Elvis. And we may have a pair of sideburns like this for you, Paul. You never know. So that's the inside of it here. And this is the mating surface. So this will give you something to think about on how you might like to mount your bumper. All right, taking a look at the side door. This is Todd's side door, and this is your side door. They're identical. So on Todd's, it's got a impregnated metal bar that goes on the inside here. The channel, which is up here on your vehicle, right here. And this is how you adjust the door, by the way. This is the adjustment with washers and so on and so forth to the proper height. And also this bar on Brewbakers, it's slightly curved like a banana. And on Automecha cars, it's straight. And here it is on the Brewbaker. You can't really see it too well. I'll come back to that. Maybe Elvis can clear that for us. But the track rides inside these two aluminum kind of, it's got a curved surface in here where a bronze bushing mounts, and the track stays stationary and the door slides back and forth. Todd's, this one's been removed so that we could take the door off and slide it on the car. You simply need to put the bearing back in and the other plate and screw it back in, once it's already on the track to secure it. And this is all that holds the top of the door. That's it. On the inside, it's got a really kind of a hokey latch. It does not work. I've never seen one that does. It's a handmade, homemade type of thing that's supposed to open the door, but they really don't have functioning latches on these doors. Some of them have latches, but they really don't work. Yours comes with a latch too, like this, which this latch here is 1968 through 74 Volkswagen Beetle. I believe it's the right side. I'm not sure about which side it is, but the latch is actually a Beetle latch, and little pieces of it are cut right in here just to give it some clearance. And this is a factory fabricated piece that holds the latch to the door, and as well it acts as the pivot for the lower pivot on the door, which the door slides on and moves back and forth on. So Elvis, can you put that door upright for us? Sure. So here's your piece, your Volkswagen latch, where it bolts out right onto the door on the bottom of the door. And you have an adjustable tie rod type of pivot. I think the other end is, I think, in the boxes somewhere, and a bracket which mounts to the bottom of the door. You can see them again here on Todd's, like that. So there's Todd's door. Has a outer latch, which really doesn't work again. There's a key on it. This is a Nissan 240Z trunk latch button that they've adapted to a kind of a homemade kind of bracket, and this is a homemade or factory built aluminum piece, which you have as well. But like I said, none of these have ever functioned, I don't believe, and the door is designed so that it works and latches itself or closes itself and can't come open because of the angle that the lower pivot is on the door. So this is where your outer door handle assembly I just showed you will go. Your metal piece is impregnated also right inside the door. Looks nice inside here. This actually looks better than Todd's door. And it will reside on top of this channel on the roof. So your door fits on the vehicle as such, and adjustments take place with this piece. You can go over here to the swamp box and I'll show you how the door actually functions. Okay, you can see the large pivot at the bottom. You can see the big angle that it moves at. And then when it closes, it just wants to close and shut itself. And let's open it up again so Paul can see how it goes back on the track. And that's how the door functions. That's about it. So it's got the pivot on the bottom of the door over here, and then the other side of the pivot goes to a metal plate down over here. So we talked about a gas cap. That's what you got there. And then back here is the rear seating, of course. And there's upholstery that goes on top of this. It'll make it look really good. Also over here on the window with where the divider bar was, there's aluminum channel that the windows slide back and forth. And there's an assortment of aluminum channel that comes with the car as well. Here's the other exhaust. This is the exhaust system that's going with it. The glazing that comes with the car, some of the perspex and rear glass from the El Camino. Some of the other parts that are here: steering column, new shifter, spare door brackets, some of the aluminum trim, the brand new windshield moldings, the AMC stuff, some cool doodles from back in the that have Brubaker information on them, some odds and ends parts back and forth, some of the brand new pieces, the side markers, dome lights, some of the other pieces that go with the car. Some other items over here. Looks like somebody was building a form at the factory out of plywood at some point in time. So there's a number of different things that go along with the car. This is just some of them, just a quick show. So you had a question as far as the mounting the rear bumpers, or the bumpers on the car, and the swamp box is probably a good methodology on how not to do it. It's in there with plywood and bubble gum and whatever else. I'll show you what's here, but it's something that's probably best devised on your own. It's a big long tube here. If somebody hit it at any kind of an angle, it would immediately bend the tube before it would do anything else. So it's more of an aesthetic kind of thing. I don't know how well this is going to show back here, but there's some bracing right here, which is basically plywood bracing it to the body, and it looks like it's going way far forward, this metal tubing, and reaching some of the frame in front of the rear suspension. So it's extremely long and doesn't appear to be very effective at all. Looks like they had a battery box back here on the swamp box. You may want to relocate the battery to the front. You may want to put it in the back. But there's nothing I would suggest copying here from mounting the bumper. So I think that's going to be something better left to your own imagination. So on the front nose, as you can see from the swamp box, a lot of this area was completely cut off on the swamp box, and there's probably going to be some massaging, a little bit of grinding that's going to be necessary to fit the nose properly here on the firewall. On the swamp box, the brakes and pedals and so forth are in a non-stock position, and it's rather unusual and perhaps not comfortable, and I suggest you take a look at it when you get a chance and you've got a fresh slate to work on with no cuts or anything for the pedals, so you may wish to put them in some position that might work out a little nicer for you, something that you prefer. The pedals go, in the stock one, go up here, so they're raised about 4 to 5 inches and move forward about a foot. The stock position on a stock VW would be down here. So it's kind of unusual. The position of your legs is actually upward from the seat if you use the normal Brubaker pedal setup. I would suggest you probably work with something maybe off of a dune buggy or something like that, perhaps some MP pieces, and fabricate something that's going to be a little bit more conventional as far as where your legs and so forth reside to operate the pedals. But it's nice to have a clear slate so that you can do it as you see fit. Got the front turn signals, the the correct style AMC pieces.